The 5 mountains every man must climb. Most men believe their greatest enemies are outside of them. They blame society. They blame bad luck. They blame other people. But history tells a different story. The greatest enemies a man will ever face live within himself. Across centuries, philosophers, warriors, and spiritual leaders have observed the same truth. Before a man can master the world, he must first master himself. And that journey requires climbing 5 difficult mountains. The mountain of lust, the mountain of pride, the mountain of discipline, the mountain of direction, and finally, the mountain of God. Few men climb them all. Mountain 1. Lust. The first mountain a young man encounters is lust. It often begins quietly in the mind, a passing thought, a moment of curiosity, a temptation that seems harmless. But desire has a powerful way of shaping behavior. When repeated often enough, it begins to influence habits, attention, and judgment. The Roman Stoic philosopher Seneca the Younger once wrote, "A man who is not master of himself is not free." This insight aligns with modern psychological research. Studies in self-regulation and impulse control show that individuals who are able to delay gratification tend to achieve better long-term outcomes in education, career development, and personal stability. When desire controls the mind, discipline weakens. But when a man learns to control desire, he gains his first victory over himself. Yet the journey does not end there, because after one weakness is conquered, another often appears. Mountain 2. Pride. Once lust loses its power, a more subtle enemy can emerge: pride. Unlike temptation, pride rarely appears as a weakness. It often disguises itself as confidence, strength, or achievement. But pride has a dangerous quality. It distorts perception. The German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche warned, "He who fights with monsters should be careful not to become one." Psychologically, pride can lead to overconfidence bias. This is the tendency to overestimate one's knowledge, judgment, or control over events. Throughout history, powerful leaders and generals have fallen not because they lacked strength, but because they believed they could not fail. Pride blinds. And once a man believes he has nothing left to learn, growth stops. To climb this mountain, humility becomes essential. Not weakness, but the recognition that wisdom requires constant correction. Mountain 3. Discipline. After confronting pride, a man faces another test: discipline. Discipline is often misunderstood. Many people think it simply means working hard or waking up early. But discipline is deeper than routine. It is the ability to act according to long-term goals rather than short-term impulses. The Greek philosopher Aristotle wrote, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Modern neuroscience supports this observation. Human behavior is strongly influenced by habit loops, patterns of cue, routine, and reward that shape daily actions. When productive habits are repeated consistently, they begin to require less mental effort. Discipline, therefore, is not merely force of will. It is the deliberate construction of habits that support one's goals. A disciplined man slowly gains control over his time, his energy, and his potential. But even disciplined effort can be misdirected, which leads to the next mountain: direction. At some point in life, every man confronts a deeper question: where am I going? Many people work hard, but not all work moves them toward meaningful goals. This problem is often described as directional uncertainty. Without a clear objective, effort becomes scattered. The Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius reflected on this idea, If a man does not know to which port he sails, no wind is favorable. Direction transforms effort into progress. It requires reflection. It requires courage, and sometimes it requires resisting the pressure to follow the paths chosen by others. A man who finds direction gains clarity, but clarity alone does not answer the deepest question of human existence. For that, there remains one final mountain. Mountain 5, God. After conquering desire, ego, confusion, and disorder, a man may begin to believe that his success is entirely his own creation. But throughout history, philosophers have warned against this illusion. The French thinker Blaise Pascal wrote, "There exists within every human being a God-shaped vacuum. Material success can bring comfort, achievement can bring recognition, but neither fully satisfies the deeper human search for meaning." Psychological research into purpose and spirituality suggests that individuals who connect their lives to a larger sense of meaning often report greater life satisfaction and resilience. For many, that meaning ultimately leads to the question of God. The final mountain reminds a man of his limits, and it reminds him that life is not only about power or success, it is also about purpose. The journey of a man is not defined only by what he gains, it is defined by what he conquers within himself. Lust, pride, lack of discipline, confusion, and the search for meaning beyond the self. These are the 5 mountains every man must climb. Few reach the summit, but every step upward is a step closer to mastering oneself.